Hey guys, welcome back to Dip Switch Demos. My name is Jackson and today we're going to check out the Reeves Electro Leo. Now, this really feels like a special pedal from the inside out, quite literally. I'll put up some close-up of the guts of this pedal, but it really is something to behold. It's quite beautiful. It is a transistor-based overdrive, aiming to get the sound and, more importantly, the feel of old Tweed amplifiers. And not just one Tweed amplifier, but 3 Tweed amplifiers that are accessible via this 3-way switch. Essentially a wattage switch that switches between a 5-watt champ type Tweed, like so it gets a boxy, compressed, gainy sound. We also have a 12-watt mode, which is, I guess, your Tweed Deluxe. Opens up the low end a little bit, but still has a bit of gain going on. And then the 40-watt mode really opens things up with more volume and more headroom, and basically more cleaner sounds, just like a Tweed Twin. Each one of these modes, in my opinion, could be a pedal in its own right. They really are detailed sounds and drastically change the way the pedal feels and sounds under the fingers, just as if you were plugging into those 3 amplifiers. So let's break down the Leo and get a bit nerdy with it. It is a bufferless design, which, as Marcus tells me, has a few pros and cons, but overall kind of defines the character of the pedal. So starting with the cons of a bufferless design, I think it makes it less flexible with where you place it in your signal chain and what you put after it and what you put before it, especially when it comes to stacking the Leo with other pedals. It's going to be a little tricky. Not to say that it won't stack with other pedals, because it does in my experience, but you're really going to have to try it for yourself. As a general rule of thumb, if you end up picking up a Leo, I would try and place it as close to the start of your signal chain as you can. For me, I've been running it, I think, 2nd or 3rd in the signal chain, and it's been working just fine. And now move on to the pros of the bufferless design and kind of the reasons why Marcus went with this route. And overall, it just makes the pedal incredibly dynamic, and that comes across no matter what wattage mode you're in. High gain, low gain, the touch sensitivity is just so impressive. So let's move on to some controls. The two controls here are sort of the main controls of the pedal. We have volume and gain, which are sort of self-explanatory. You know, they do adjust the volume and gain, but they do also drastically change depending on what wattage mode you're in. In the 5-watt mode, for example, you're really going to need to crank that volume to match the other modes, and you're also not really going to get any clean sounds. You know, turning up the gain just compresses the sound more instead of really increasing the gain in the 5-watt mode. Across the board though, in every mode, the more you crank that volume, the more amp-like power soak you're going to introduce into your tone, and that's really where the pedal is the most fun for me. Cranking up that volume, it sags, it feels great to play. Similarly with the gain as well. Past 3 o'clock, you're not really introducing any more gain into the sound, you're just kind of bringing up those high-end frequencies into a more gainy territory, just like those old Tweed amps would. These last two switches here essentially act as the different inputs on certain Tweed amplifiers. So up top here we have a high and a low switch, sort of, I guess, originally designed for switching guitars depending on if you've got high output pickups or low output pickups. But here it's great for that, but also great for turning up the aggression or mellowing things out a little bit. Below that we have a bright and normal switch, similar sort of story here, depending on what guitar you're using, but also great for really cranking up those high frequencies. The combination of those three switches and these two knobs, there are so many sweet spots and so many different sounds that you can get out of it, from crystal clear, big open sounds to compressed, boxy, gain and aggression. It's a lot of fun, and you know, that's before we even get to the boost side of the pedal. Finally, we move on to the boost side, and this is where things get wild for me. The boost comes before the amp stage or the rest of the pedal to really boost the high mid frequencies of that amp sound. I think there's something like 25 decibels of boost here, and because it's in front of the rest of the pedal, those 25 decibels don't really translate into pure volume. Instead, they just pummel the front end of an amp, just like you would if you were slamming a boost into the front end of a small wattage Tweed. It's so good, and this is where some of my favourite tones of the pedal lie. It absolutely destroys the 5 wattage mode. As this demo is released, the Leo will be up for sale on the 9th of February 2022 only, and then following batches after that. The best way to stay up to date with when these are going to be available is follow Reeves Electro on Instagram. This pedal nails the sound and the dynamic response of not just one but 3 Tweed amplifiers, and I flipping love it. It rips. Thanks guys for checking out the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and maybe check out some more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.